Hi, my name is James Vondrak, and together with Anish Kodakula, William Kinsella, and Orion Foley, we are Arrive Alive. This is Cameron. Cameron was a 6-year-old girl who had just recently gotten her license. She lives in Arlington, Texas. One night, coming home from a football game, she was excited, with a whole weekend ahead on a Friday night. She decided to check her phone to see the group chat with her friends, to see what the plans were. This led to her being distracted and causing a fatal crash, causing her to lose her life.
Cameron is not alone. She's one of 390,000 people that crashes happen each year due to texting. Arrive Alive is an app that helps parents supervise their child's driving by notifying the parent on when a possibly distracting app is open while the child is on the road.
So this is how Arrive Alive works. When a child accesses a possibly distracting app chosen by the parent, a notification will be sent to the phone like this. It will say the child's name and what app they're currently using while driving. But that is when it's a lock screen. When you're in the phone in action doing stuff on your phone, it will give you the ability to enter the Arrive Alive app and send a message to your child telling them to get off their phone. And then also a new part of Arrive Alive that we've recently been working on is a pie chart that will show basically what apps they're using when they're driving, and then also a 1 through 5 star scale that will help that will rate the child's driving. And we wish to one day entice kids that just started driving to not use their phone while driving, to lower insurance rates by having good scores when they're driving. Our ideal customer segment is parents ages 30 through 50 who obviously have to have kids that are 16 plus years of age because those are ones that are able to drive.
Now on to our market size. We have a total addressable market of $3.13 billion. This is how much money is spent on the automobile industry in the United States as a whole. As our serviceable addressable market is $287 million, this is how much money is spent on driving apps in the United States in general. And our market share is less than 1%. Now on to our competition. We have 3 indirect competitors, and Lifesaver is one of them. Lifesaver is an app that helps deter users from driving, and how it works is when a user is driving and they pick up their phone, Lifesaver sends them a notification telling them to focus on the road. But according to many users on the reviews on the App Store, they say that the app doesn't work half the time. It's not user friendly, and the phone tracking doesn't work. So you can be on like the sidewalk running, and it will still send you a notification to stop texting. Now on to TrueMotion Family. TrueMotion Family is an app that like a whole family uses. It's like Life 360, but it only ranks like driving. It tracks how many times a phone is picked up while driving. It ranks driving safety on a 1 to 10 scale, and it also tracks how many notifications are received during the period of the drive. Just like Lifesaver, it's not user friendly. It doesn't track phone usage effectively, and the app also crashes spontaneously. As our last indirect competitor, it is Apple Drive Mode. Apple Drive Mode is an iOS feature on every iPhone, and what it does, it silences notifications when a user is driving. So, as an iOS user myself, and know many people that use an iPhone, they say they find this feature annoying. And it's also really easy to turn off and on. It's just by a click of a button, and it's also operated by the person that's using the phone. So many people don't use this because they find it really pointless. Now on to our marketing strategies and ads. So far, we're only marketing on 2 social media platforms, as in LinkedIn and Facebook. Specifically for Facebook, we're in 20 plus Facebook groups across the Chicago area. These places are from Aurora, Palatine, Barrington, and more places. What we do in those Facebook groups is make posts with ads like these, and we send them a link to our website, and hoping we get customers intrigued in our product.
The Facebook groups that we are in are titled Mothers of Blank, like Barrington Moms, Wakanda Moms, Aurora Moms, because those are the people that are looking most likely to buy a product.
For our channels, our app will be downloadable through the App Store, and we will have the link on our website to take you to the App Store to download our app.
Now you may be wondering, how much are we charging people for this? We're charging $4.99 a month, but in the future, when we want different plans, they're going to vary on how many childs are going to be tracked on one plan. We also have a cost of goods of 10 cents due to the fact Apple has a 2% credit card fee on apps that have any credit card transaction at all.
So our first year projected revenue is $46,000, and the 5th year is $1.3 million.
Now on to our MVP. It is a landing page MVP, as you can see to the right, but before customers are even allowed to see this, they go to the screen on the left. What this is a way for customers to put in their email before they access our landing page. We do this because if customers are really interested in our product, they would want to put in our email and before they even see our landing page. By doing that, we've gotten 229 customers, our emails gathered, and out of those 229 people, we have 32 surveys completed. Out of those 32 surveys, 85% of people have said they would pay $4.99 for our app.
So our startup costs are cut into 4 main categories. The first is legal. We're going to spend $16,500 on a utility patent and trademarking. The next is the development costs. This is going to cost us $13,000 to fully develop our app. Then we have $2,250 spent on marketing. And finally is the Apple's developer license. This is how much it costs to publish an app on the App Store. So we're asking for $36,000 in exchange for 20% of our company with a post-money valuation of $421,000 and a money multiple of 56% and internal rate of return of 6.8.
So here's a breakdown of what cost of our app development. The first, we're going to Adam Clementi, who we've called with numerous times. We're paying him $200 an hour for a total of 25 hours, coming in at $5,000. This will go. Adam Clementi is a good friend of our mentor, and he's worked on previous apps in the past. We're getting him for a discounted price due to him being a good friend of Mr. Cross and our mentor. Then we would move to an advanced programmer who Adam says that he can set us up with. We'd be paying him an estimated $200 an hour for 40 total hours for $8,000, coming out to $200 an hour for both of them, for a total of 65 hours and $13,000 total for that development.
So our exit strategy is to sell to a competitor after 5 years, like an insurance agent or Life360.
And thank you, and remember, Arrival Live is saving lives one download at a time.
You mentioned Life360 once. You didn't, unless I missed it, didn't put it on as a direct competitor?
Well, like 360 just, it's somewhat a direct competitor, but the only thing it really does, like us, is they only track how many times the phone has been picked up.
It tracks how many times the phone is picked up, but also the main use of Life360 amongst parents is just to see where the child is and how fast they're going, which is also on our app, but isn't the main focus. Ours is just kind of what their phone is being used for and sending a notification to the parents saying the phone is being used for a certain.
Have you had your developer contact validate the Apple and Google APIs that they're able to give you the specific app usage, opening times, and all that? Like, have you verified all that?
Yeah, he said it's possible.
Yeah, so right now we're only looking at like Apple Store, we're not looking for Google, but he said it's like possible for iOS.
Is your plan to allow the parents to choose and select what apps they want to be notified?
Yeah.
And it's just going to be open to them, so you're giving the tools to the parent to be kind of setting the boundaries for reducing the distracted driving. You're not getting in the middle and saying, this is what we should rock, is that right?
Yeah.
Why LinkedIn? I'm happy to finally see LinkedIn. I think it's an amazing tool. Just curious that this is the business that chose to do it.
So we go for LinkedIn just because our target is parents, and we know that parents aren't going to be on a TikTok or Instagram as much as a LinkedIn, because obviously parents are the ones looking for jobs on LinkedIn and job opportunities. So we figured that putting it on there would reach the eyes of people on parents.
I love the idea and the goals for this. And I know that there's a high bar to get to like an MVP that actually tested the technology. I wish there was a way you could have done that just to verify that to your point or whatever, but I understand that there is kind of a high bar there. The one note I would say is that with your $4.99 a month plan, you had a COGS of 10 cents, but actually, Apple takes 30% of that subscription revenue for the first year, and then 15% every year after that. So I would probably consider that part of your COGS for that.
You mentioned, well, let me just start. Right now, I run an app on my phone through my insurance company. And I like how on your app, you would show me what my child is using. And I would like the ability to choose what I could see that he's using while supposed to be driving. But I was curious, you said that by using your app, you could improve your insurance cost. How are you
Right,
going to
so
tie that all in?
That'd be more down the road once we're an established business. So with the 5-star scale, so the 5-star scale measures just how many times you pick up your phone. Like if you don't use your phone while driving, look for the distracting stuff. Like music and messages, that's allowed, that's chosen by the parent. But if you use distracted apps that the parent has chosen while driving, the 5-star scale will drop gradually. But if you don't, then you'll get 5 stars, hopefully showing that your insurance company that you don't use your phone while driving. That's our.
Okay, so that'd be more of a future tie-in?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an accelerometer in every smartphone, and it's part of the API. To very simplify this to the parents or your target customers, nobody should be touching their phone in the car, right? But the phone may be tied to, Apple CarPlay or whatever, and that's actually legal and deemed by whatever many agencies to be not distracted and safe. So you might have a very clean, understandable pitch if you just focus the app around how often is the phone moved. And I believe that there's open APIs from Google and others that actually give you a phone accelerometer score. Because really, you don't want picking up and this and the other. But if the phone is mounted or in a pocket or a purse, whatever, but you're still interfacing through CarPlay or whatever the phone, the car, infotainment system, this might be a way to very uniquely separate yourself from everybody else and not cross lines or, get yourself in any trouble with stuff that might be needed to use in an emergency, right? This is just, are you messing with your phone or not? Are your hands at 10 and 2 or 9 and 3, and you're looking forward, that type of thing. Think about adding that.
I totally applaud that you guys are tackling a real problem that makes a difference, frankly, to everybody. Not just the driver who could be distracted, but everyone around that driver who could be hit by that driver if they're not paying attention. So I think that's fantastic. Could you share a little bit more about what you discovered from parents doing your MVP? How sophisticated do they really want this to be, or not?
So we started off the Level Live with an option to lock. The main thing was to lock their phone, but when we talked to parents about it, they said it might be kind of annoying to always have to lock their phone when your child's about to drive. So we moved towards this option where it just shows the parent what they're using while they're driving, which is kind of what the parent liked more. And the numbers of surveys actually that were filled out even went up when we didn't send as many emails out, just because we had that in the email instead of the option to lock your phone.
How'd you get the email addresses? What parents?
So half of them were from Facebook and LinkedIn, but we also used the high school directory, and we found people from like our grade and the grade like below and above, and
Nice.
sent emails to the moms like that.
Okay, I was just wondering if you went to one of the local driving schools and, offered this to parents, because those are the parents that are really going to be the foremost concerned about this. Okay.
And when you're defining your parent segment, you said parents 30 to 50. I don't know a lot of 30-year-old parents with driving teenagers. So you might want to narrow that segment a little bit, target it a little closer.
One piece of advice I'd give you guys is that you're targeting parents, right? But if it's not adopted by the drivers, it will not be successful, right? It cannot be, because you'll have, children and students, whatever, that will revolt if it's too intrusive or if it's too much of a stick and no carrot. Meaning, think about reward systems. My background is actually drive behavior and dash cams, right? So I have extensive experience in what happens when you put a camera in and what a driver thinks about that. And what they find out, and dash cam's been around a longer time now, is that they hate to be interrupted during the drive. And it actually makes their driving worse because it generates anxiety every time they hear a beep or a, so think about kind of the silent collection of the data directly delivering to the parents. Let the parents make the call on did they cross the line, should they reach out and do all that. But keeping a collection of their behaviors, right? Allowing the parents to reward good behavior over time. You don't have to be too much. It might backfire.
That's kind of what we aim for with the fast start scale, but we get it.
Yeah.
We get it big.
Yeah, the rating is good. And then let them, you can expand, add allowance stuff into it as a bonus for not picking up your phone for 5 drives. Think about clever stuff like that.
What are your years in school, and what are you gonna do with the team and the business?
Oh, I'm a sophomore, I want
I'm a sophomore and I want to do this.
I'm a sophomore, I don't think the
I'm a sophomore, I don't.
All right, thank you guys.
All right.
Thank you.